It was an important day in the yard. Everyone was making notes and taking photographs. A special visitor had come to the island of Sodor and was now the centre of attention. "That's silly," said Thomas. "He can't be a city of Truro when he's just an engine." Duck gave him a foul look. "Now you pay more respect," said Duck, "for this engine has done more for the Great Western than any other." "I've never seen a city before," said Percy, "but Gordon definitely has. But I thought it would be bigger." Just then, Gordon arrived. "Pooh, a lot of fuss about nothing if you ask me," he boomed and kept on going. "Famous indeed, famous indeed. Nonsense." Later, Duck got to speak with him, and they chatted all night long about the Great Western Railway. He left early next morning. "Good riddance," Gordon grumbled. "Chattering all night, who is he anyway?" "He was the first engine to go 100 miles per hour, said Duck. "So he says," continued Gordon. "My brother was the first verified 100 miles an hour. Anyway, I don't like his looks. Never trust domeless engines. They're not respectable. Now you listen here. I never boast," he continued, "but 100 miles an hour would be easy for me." Duck took some trucks to Edward's station. "That famous engine came by this morning. He whistled to me. Wasn't he kind?" "He's the finest engine in the world," replied Duck. Then he told Edward what Gordon had said. "Take no notice. He's just jealous. He thinks no engine should be famous but him. Look, he's coming now." Gordon's boiler seemed to have swollen larger than ever. "He did it, I'll do it! He did it, I'll do it!" he panted. Flew at a tremendous rate, as his wheel was pounded the rails. "Gordon's trying to do a city of Truro," chuckled Edward. But Duck was still cross. "I should think he'll knock himself to bits," he snorted. "I heard something matter as he went through." Gordon's driver eased him off. "Steady, boy," he said. "We aren't running a race." "We are then," said Gordon, but he said it to himself. Eventually, Gordon began to feel a little strange. "The top of my boiler seems funny," he thought. "Feels as if something is loose and I'd better go slower." But it was too late. On the viaduct, they met the wind. It was a teasing wind which blew in hard puffs. Gordon thought it wanted to knock him off the bridge. "No, you don't," he said firmly, but the wind had other ideas. He crept around his boiler, under his loose dome, and off and away to the valley below. Gordon was most uncomfortable. The wind was whistling through the hole where his dome should be, and he felt silly without it. At the end of the line, the trucks laughed at him. "Silly old Gordon lost his dome, lost his dome, lost his dome. Silly old Gordon lost his dome on a Friday afternoon." The passengers laughed too. He was a silly sight indeed, and was very embarrassed. On the way home, Gordon wanted his driver to stop and fetch his dome. "We'll never find it now. We'll just have to go to the works for a new one." Gordon was very cross. "I hope the sheds are empty tonight," he said to himself. But all the engines were there waiting. "Never trust domeless engines. They're not respectable," said a voice. He couldn't be sure, but it did sound like it came from Duck.